I feel like shit.
Monday, happy days. Tuesday, Wednesday, happy days.
It's just one of those
happy days. The weekend comes, let's not go on.
It's just one of those days where you don't wanna wake up. Everything is everybody sucks. You don't really know why, but you wanna justify ripping someone's head off. No human contact, and if you interact, your life is on contract. Your best bet is
Just knock it off, you scum fuckhead.
it's just one of those days. It's just one of
Monday,
those.
happy days.
It's just one of
Tuesday,
those.
happy days.
It's just one of those
Happy
days.
The weekend comes, let's not go on. Ready to make
It's just one of those days, feeling like a freight train. First one to complain, leaves with the blood stain. Damn right, I'm a maniac. You better you cause I'm fucking up your program. And you feel stuck up, you just locked up. Next in line to get fucked up. Your best bet is to stay away, motherfucker. It's just,
I'm losing my cool.
it's all about
Monday, happy days.
it's just one of those,
Happy days.
it's just one of those days.
The weekend comes, let's not go on. Ready to make
Feel like shit. My suggestion is distance. Right now I'm dangerous. Right now I'm dangerous.
Something's happening to the farm.
My day keeps going this way and this way.
I'm gonna pop you one so you'll stop playing games.
Give me something great. Give me something great. I hope you know I'm like a chainsaw. A chainsaw. A motherfucking chainsaw.
What?
So come and get it.
What we got here is a case of mistaken identity, you know? See, now this here,
Not Robert.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Chief Moody, and welcome to episode 64 of the Mood of the Nation podcast. My apologies, I was late during the stream, about 6 minutes late, in fact, and there is a reason for that. I'll get to that in just a short second, but I do apologize that I'm relatively late than usual. I was just trying to get myself ready. My laptop, of course, decided to become a complete fanny on me. So I just tried my best to get everything all sorted out, get all the articles and such I was going to talk about tonight, and then see from there, of course. So I think everything is working fine. No any more hiccups or anything like that at all. And of course, I got all the stuff ready to go and so on and so forth. So again, my apologies for being late, but I'm here now. So hopefully we'll get the show going at this point in time. Do see quite a lot of familiar faces. If I see there's Joe in the chat, which is good to see. Hello, Joe. And also there's Bill. I might as well just announce it just now, but this coming Sunday, it looks like I'll be doing episode 65 on that day. So even on that day, I'm going to be having both Joe and Bill on the show. I'm sure Joe will come on. Hopefully, Bill will be coming on the show as well. If there's anyone else from PA Wales who would like to participate in the chat within Mood of the Nation, then they're very welcome to. But at the moment, what I know is both Joe and Bill will be coming on the show on Sunday. Any changes or anything like that at all, I'm sure they will let me know. And then, of course, I'll let you guys know as well regarding to that. Let me see. I'll be there. Cool. That even Bell says it in the chat. He'll be there. That's good. So, 100 lines for being late, Mr. Moody. I'm not doing that English, Rose. Dear. Let's see. What else was I going to mention? There was another thing. I got all the stuff ready to go, as I mentioned that just now. Let me just have a look and see who's in the chat just now. I think there's only 17 people watching the show, which is still good stuff. I think when the opening credits were rolling, I've seen Mark posted something on his Telegram that he's live on the Kill stream at the moment, which is like, oh, okay. So I mean, like, if you want, I guess if he was asked to appear on that show, then that's great. I'm sure most of our people would go and watch that episode of the Kill Stream with Mark at the moment, which is completely fine and dandy and all. So even then, Mark, to be fair, did share the stream for tonight's episode. I think also St. Harrison shared it, which of course thank you to him as well. PA Wales shared it. The official PA channel on Telegram shared the stream, which again is really good stuff, and I greatly appreciate that. And of course, I appreciate the turnout tonight for this fine evening. So of course we got Toby Radley in the chat, Jacob J4746 as per usual. Thanks very much for watching. Indigenous Advocate, good evening, fellow patriots and nationalists. Good evening to you too. Thanks very much for watching. Ugly Truth, Kitchen Skillet, Rigor Mortis, Exile Viking. Oh, there's Tam in the chat. Hello, Tam. Thanks very much for watching. Let me see. I mentioned Exile Viking before. Good stuff. Good. Budgie Burger, thanks very much for watching. There's Horse, thanks very much for watching. There's Kerr from PA Young Scots, thanks very much, Kerr, for watching. I appreciate you being here. There's Streaky Bacon with the Inshallah Infidels. Inshallah to you too, Streaky Bacon. Thanks very much for watching the show. Just making sure. Grandma Taller's while we wait. Anyone else? I actually need to purchase another bag of Grandma Taller's tea. I don't know whether or not if I should maybe order one during this week, or maybe I can just wait until maybe at some point near future. I don't know. Maybe I think I might order some. Either tomorrow or this coming weekend, either Saturday or Sunday, but who knows? We'll definitely see with that. Right then, so cool. Excellent stuff. So again, appreciate everyone coming onto the show. Really good stuff, and hopefully tonight's episode will be smashing. I do have some topics I really want to discuss. In fact, as a matter of fact, I got something I want to show on Twitter just now. This came to my attention earlier on, and I'll showcase this just now. Now, I don't know if you've seen this picture someone posted on Twitter being on Telegram or Gab or anywhere else at all, but I've seen this. I'm sure I've seen this either. No, it was today. I definitely know that because sorry, excuse me. I've discovered this photograph on on Twitter when I was at work during my break. Well, let me see if I can quickly find that just now, because this one. Well, hello, Hightower 005. Thanks very much for watching. Appreciate you being here. Let's see. I think I liked it. It just helps me to find the post in question. Let's see if I can get this up here. Yep, this is the one. Cool. Right. What to do is let me just. What the hell is that? Right. Okay. Cool. Let me just share the screen. You're the only one of us left on Twitter. I know, Horse. I know. I think that the only reason for that is because I rarely ever use it. I mean, I might post a tweet here and there, but even then, it's like I would have thought I would have been deplatformed off of Twitter by now, but maybe again, still only the clock's ticking, and I don't really fully know that, but we'll definitely see in the future, with that. So we shall see. Anyway, I found this when I was at work. I was just scrolling through Twitter, just seeing the feed on that, and I found this. Now, again, I'm not entirely too sure if people have seen this already on other platforms, but this. Oh boy! You remember back in, I think it was I don't know if this has been going on for even before then, but I remember growing up back in the 2000s. I remember stuff like this would come up in terms of climate change, like we need to save the planet and all of that. It wasn't until later on in life I found out the idea or the concept of couples, especially like white couples, are basically being told, it's probably not a good idea to start families or anything like that at all, because you're going to become they didn't call it climate killer back then, but they called it something along the lines like harming the environment or something like that. They gave out all of these like bullshit excuses of like, oh, here's why you should not have as much kids regarding to that. And it's like, me, who the fuck are you to dictate how me and my partner, how many kids we should have, and whether or not if it's a good idea to have kids or not. If we wanted to start a family, that's our business, not yours. But as the poster reads, I think from my recollection from seeing this, I think this is meant to be. I might get this wrong. Maybe German or Austrian. I don't know. I don't know if there's people in the chat. Germany is going, so it looks like that's from Horse. So it looks like the poster itself is from Germany, and the poster reads "Future or Climate Killer." So basically, it's showcasing the idea. Do you want to save the planet, or do you want to become a evil scumbag and produce white babies? Essentially, it's absolutely. In fact, even English Rose said it in the chat. It's completely disgusting. Absolutely fucking disgusting. And of course, I know this is not an original point to me. I know many people within our circles have talked about this before, but it's interesting to see whether it be our government or any other westernized or European governments embracing the idea of these non-whites, these foreigners coming into the countries and wanting to basically say, "Oh, don't worry, it's completely fine for you to repopulate and all of that." They never ever bring this type of stuff up to those people, but when it comes to the European whites, then that's when they bring this up. It's so transparent what they're doing here. This is all just, I know this is a cliche to say at this point, but it is absolutely true in saying this. This is all part of an even bigger agenda to promote the idea of white erasure. That's what this is. I mean, it's basically this poster right here. If I can maybe get this closer as well. This poster right here is basically advertising the idea of white erasure completely. It's basically saying, look, either you save the planet, you're a helper for the planet and all of that, or you're basically a complete scumbag because you decide to give birth to children, pass down your bloodline and all of that. And it's a completely different story when it comes to non-whites, essentially. It's the hypocrisy is astounding regarding to that. Absolutely astounding. I'll just come back to this real quick. Felix Boru, more white babies. Absolutely, I agree. I agree with that. I'll just put that in the chat just now. Absolutely. Thank you, Felix. Let me see here. Was there anything else I was meant to soy wolf? Dear. Dear. Let's get making babies, people. Yes, I agree with that, Horse. I actually want to maybe finish off that particular topic and then move on to something else. But I do think it's a good idea for people, mainly our people, to start reproducing babies. I know we're in a climate where that's maybe seemed hard to do at this point because of how you could say atomized we are, just how that particular agenda is just being beating you over the head with that, with this idea of like, oh, you should do other things in life and not settle down and raise a family. It's like, really, it's ridiculous. It really is utterly ridiculous. I would say my advice would be for people is, if you're not in a relationship with someone, like myself, of course, but if you're not in a relationship with someone, I would say, of course, find yourself a partner who you like, you trust, you enjoy their company and all of that, and even to the point where you may later on say, yeah, I want to spend the rest of my life with this person. And if they're the right one for you, then get married and start producing babies. We need a PA dating site from English Rose. Yeah. I mean, I would share something like that maybe better than stuff like Tinder, I would say. A bit of a funny story with Tinder, actually, because I remember back in my college years, I would use to use Tinder quite a lot. Because of course I was trying to see if I can get myself in a relationship with someone, and at the time, sorry, excuse me, and at the time, it was pretty decent from what I remember. It wasn't like anything major or anything like that at all. I thought I would try and use it recently. Well, recently being, I think it wasn't early this year. I think it was maybe last year, I think, but maybe just after summer. Like, I think it was either during November or December, round about that time, because I thought, I highly doubt I'm going to get anywhere with Tinder at this point in time. I highly doubt there's going to be someone who will pique my interest. I thought, why not? I'll give it a bash. Sorry, excuse me. So I went on to Tinder, and there was, to be fair, there were some pretty decent lassies who had a short conversation with, but nothing really went anywhere. But the whole platform of Tinder is just, it's completely just filled to the brim of lefty propaganda. For example, as soon as you open up the app, you're looking through it and all of that, the opening page before you start looking into finding particular partners, there's like an in-app poster, I guess you would call it, of like a biracial couple. So I'm assuming it's a white woman with a black guy. Of course, they would promote something like that. What's the word for it? Miscegenation, I believe it is. Of course, absolutely no surprise there. And most of the lassies that I tried to, or swiping left or right type of thing, most of them are just complete lefties, even going as far as saying in their profiles, oh, I've been vaccinated like twice, or I've been double jabbed, or I got the booster shot, this and that. And it's like, oh, Jesus fucking Christ. It's like, why did I bother coming back to this thing? So I thought, you know what, fuck this. I'm not gonna bother. So I tried Tinder again, but to little to no hope, essentially, with that. So, of course, I'm not going to lose any sleep over it anyway when it comes to that. I'm pretty sure someday I might find someone that I would like to spend the rest of my life with, and, of course, start a family with. We'll just need to wait and see on that. And hopefully that may be the same thing with everyone in the chat who's watching either just now or maybe later on. But we'll see. We shall see. Rory Herbert, good evening. Thanks very much for watching the show. As a matter of fact, just before I forget, I'm just going to mention this part once and then only once, and after that. Let me just get this up here real quick and then see from there and move on to the next topic. So I mentioned this previously, previous episodes, and of course, just to mention this again only once, and that's it, and I'll move on to something else. But of course, if you guys would like to support me financially, whether it be sending donations through a coffee page or PayPal directly, then the links for that will be in the description down below and also in the chat just now. Mrs. Moody and Moody Jr. That's quite funny, except Viking. But yeah, and of course, when I put those links in, please don't feel obligated as if like you need to do that or anything like that at all. The option is there. If you'd like to contribute to me financially, then the option is there for you to do so, and your generosity would be very very gracious regarding to that. So that's either through Ko-fi or Coffee or even PayPal. So again, the option is there with that. But thank you in advance for that. So anyway, and also if you missed the links for that in the chat, as I said, the links will be in the description down below. Now that I've gotten that out of the way, I'll move on to something else. And as a matter of fact, what one should I maybe start off with? Because this particular news story came to my attention yesterday, because I know some of the guys from PA Scotland were talking about this. Or do I maybe want to bring up the trailer first of all? In fact, I'll let you guys decide. Right, okay, so first two topics I have here, I'll let you guys decide which ones you would like me to cover first. So what to do is I've got the trailer for the new Showtime Network show called Everything's Gonna Be All White. I'm pretty sure you all may have seen that trailer already by yourselves. Or I have the Chris Donald killer article up here by the Daily Record. So what to do is, chat, I would like you all to type in one for my trailer reaction to that particular trailer, or type in two if you'd like me to cover the Chris Donald killer article by the Daily Record. And I'll just wait for you guys for that just now. I also see 23 people watching the show, which is really good. We got Kerr from with number 1. Okay, so that's the trailer. So on. So okay, we got 2 for Exile Viking. It's a close tie, I would say. Okay, but hopefully more people comment. We'll see from there. So again, entirely up to yourselves, guys, of what you would like me to cover. First of all, right. Okay. So let's see. 1. Ugly Truth, that doesn't count. 1 plus 2. Right, okay, so 1, 2, 3. So there's 3 ones so far. Even Roscoe, how you doing? Thanks very much for watching the show. Okay, 4 ones. How many 2s are there? There's 1, 2, 3, 4. Still a tie. So it's 4 ones and 4 2s. Make that 5 2s because that's Felix put in that in the chat just now. It's very, very close, I would say. Very close indeed. Let me see here. I'll just wait for maybe a couple more results, and then I'll see if I can pick the winner, and I'll cover that as the first topic, and then, of course, we'll move on to something else after that. Let me see here. And also, just to mention, because I was late during the stream at the start, 6 or 7 minutes late, I'll see if I can maybe go after 8 o'clock as a way of making it up for the 2 hours for the show, and also because of the fact that I was late. So let me see here. Just want to make sure. Right, I'll see if I can count up just now. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 4 ones. Okay, so far 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 2s and 5 1s. Oh, sorry, 6 1s. God damn it, still a tie. So it's 6 each. Right, what I'll do is I'll have one more comment come through, and that could be the tiebreaker. So whoever comments either 1 or 2, then that would be the ultimate tiebreaker. And then I'll cover that as the first topic. Right, so 6 1s and 6 2s. So it's very, very close indeed, I would say. Very close. Flip a coin. You know what, Kerr, that's actually a really good idea. Actually, do I have any coins on me just now? Can I vote twice? No, only ones, English rules. Only ones. I see there's more ones coming through. Right, okay. Flip a coin. Well, I guess we don't really need to flip a coin just now because it looks like there's more ones coming through. So for that, I'll say the first option, number 1, is the winner. So that means I'm going to be covering the trailer first of all. Now, I know there's many people that have seen the trailer already. I'm pretty sure other peoples within our circles have talked about this trailer as well. But I just thought it'd be interesting to cover that just now. And then I know I'm going to be... I know I'm not going to enjoy this trailer whatsoever. Because you know what? I thought I would watch it just for research purposes. I've only seen the first 13 seconds, and I just stopped because it's just... We'll see in a minute. We definitely shall see.
They kill us.
Pause. Right, here we go. God damn, right, okay. Don't know why it keeps on doing that. Right. Right, okay, let me just share the screen real quick. So back onto here, and then we'll get on to back onto YouTube and start from there. Right then. You know what? I'll play this part first, and then we'll just get right into it, shall we? So 3, 2, 1. Full screen at first. There we go. 3, 2, 1. Okay, so 2 seconds in, right out of the gate, right off the bat, it's coming up with this cringy shit just now. Warning, this trailer may trigger white people. You just, like, is it just me, folks, right? But is it just me, or do I always find it incredibly cringy of lefty retards always trying to take our sense of humor and trying to, like, turn it around and try and use it against us? You know, it's like me, you realize that the jokes say, like, triggered and all of that. You realize it's us making fun of you lot because you're the ones who are hypersensitive fucks. You know, I mean, say what you want about, say, our movement. At least we have a legitimate reason to be angry or sad or anything like that at all because of the current state we're living in just now and what our people are facing just now. Whereas these lefty douchebags, these SJWs, these BLM types, and so on and so forth, they're the ones who are the most hypersensitive group of people you'll ever meet. They're basically snowflakes. They're the ones who will come up to you and say, "Oh, I'm so upset," and you're like, "Okay, what seems to be the problem?" "Oh, someone mispronounced my gender." Okay, what's the problem? Oh, no, oh, sorry. Oh no, that's terrible. How fucking dare they? What monsters? Anyway, moving on. It's the same song and dance we've been seeing over and over again. And I'm surprised. Well, actually, I'm not really surprised with it being Showtime. And there's actually quite funny with this because I believe the first 4 episodes have been released on cable network in America, probably shown here as well, but mostly in America, I would say, on Showtime. Now, I don't know if this is correct in saying, but I don't think we should take Showtime as a network seriously anyway, because last time I checked, when I was doing the 2-parter live stream series I was doing at the time, talking about the porn industry and how bad it is. I know I did say like part 3 is coming, but I think it's going to be a bit longer than usual. But I'll definitely come out with part 3 at some point. But at the time, I was doing a bit of research into it as well about the overall porn industry, just how bad it is and all of that. And I remember I mentioned a specific event or ceremonial event, if you want to call it that, the Oscars of the porn industry, called the AVN Awards. And I can't remember which network, but I'm pretty sure from my recollection it was Showtime that would showcase those annual events on a yearly basis. So is anyone really that surprised? If that were to be true, I could be completely wrong on that fact. But if it is true that Showtime is a network that would showcase the AVN Awards and also is showcasing this new documentary series, is anyone really that surprised at this point? I wouldn't be. But anyway, continuing from there, and this is going to be a bumpy ride, folks. It's going to be a bumpy ride, but we'll see here.
I think what annoys me most about white people is when they pretend like they're the victim. What's also annoying is when they kill us.
See what I mean? This is going to be, yeah. Again, just the first few seconds of this trailer is just filled to the brim of anti-white propaganda. The fact that this woman right here would make all this would make all this like snarky comments about how white people pretend to be victims. Let me ask you this, sweetheart: were the children and all the people who were ran over by what's that scumbag's name in Waukesha? Damn it! What was his name again? Someone in the chat maybe. What's that? 1 second. From Kerr saying audio is gone. Is the audio gone? Never mind, was on my end. All right, that's fine. No worries, Kerr. But yeah, guys, I believe the perpetrator of that was, oh damn it, what was the jogger's name again who ran over the white people at that parade? What was that scumbag's name? Because there's something there is a point to make regarding to that. There is a point to make in regard to that. Oh damn, that's gonna annoy me now. Maybe someone in the chat maybe can help me out with that. What was the perpetrator's name? He was also like a wannabe rapper, and he talks about actually wanting to commit harm towards white people. What was that? Damn it, that's really gonna annoy me now. But basically, I'm sure that it will come back to me. But basically, I want to ask this woman, so for white people to quote unquote pretend to be the victims, were those people who were ran over by that scumbag, were they pretending to be victims? What about someone like Chris Donald, as something that I'm going to be talking about, of course, later on during the show? Was he pretending to be a victim when those Pakistani men basically, I'm assuming they were Pakistani from what I remember, but basically, he was taken by a bunch of foreigners, just all kinds of horrendous stuff, which I really don't want to bring this up on the show because it's just absolutely just terrible. Daryl E. Brooks, thank you, Rory Herbert, appreciate that. Yeah, Daryl E. Brooks, thank you for that. And just what they did to Chris Donald, like, was he pretending to be a victim? What about, I might have shown the list on the official PA websites, but all the white people who have died because of foreigners or foreign entities, were they pretending to be victims? Really makes you think, doesn't it? Absolute fucking scumbag. I mean, this is coming from this bitch who's living. I don't know if this is meant to be her house or mansion or whatever, but who the fuck is she to come on to this documentary trying to act like as if her and her people are the oppressed ones when they get everything on a silver fucking platter? But yeah, even with that, it's still never enough. It's never enough with these people. These people, and I know that's like Jesse Smollett, another good example. Thank you, Peter Walker. These people will never be satisfied until we're gone. That's the only way that they'll be satisfied. But even then, even if there's a point to make about us actually being erased, completely gone for that matter, these people will be fucked. How do you think they're going to cope or exist even longer without white people? Again, really gets the noggin jogging, doesn't it? She's taking a break from cleaning Mr. Goldstein's house. Dear. Let's see. Right. The trailer and the first episode have been absolutely torn apart, even by the lefts. It's that bad. Well, I'm glad you brought that up, English Rose, because that's something after covering the trailer, I'll have a look at that as well. Because even then, I did have a look into the rating for the show itself, and it's bad. It really is really bad. But anyway, let's have a look at this further.
What's also annoying is when they kill us.
What is fragile about whiteness when everything has been constructed around it?
Every part of who I am has been distorted or criminalized.
It's really just a bunch of white lies.
Oh my God. The amount of propaganda. Right, let's start off with this guy here.
When everything has been constructed around it.
Right, I love this part. What's so fragile about whiteness when everything's been constructed around it? I don't know. Maybe it's the fact that all these foreign entities, all these second or third or fourth generation groups of non-whites who've been living in these white countries and yet seem to think that they could just take over the country for what they want. It's ridiculous. This is all part of a bigger plan to erase white people, white history, and white culture. It's so fucking transparent. For this douchebag to come out and say like, "Oh, what's so fragile about whiteness when everything's been built around it?" Well, we're seeing currently statues being torn down. Our people are being assaulted and, or worse of all, being killed. Our culture and our history are being deconstructed to the point where it's like, well, what even is white? What even is British? What even is American? All this commie shit you hear in our education systems, in our employment system as well with that, it's happening all around us. And another point to make when it comes to collectivization, if that's even a word, but it's okay for non-whites to get together as a collective. Black people, it's okay for them to be a collective. Brown people, it's completely fine for them to be a collective. Asians, completely fine for them to be a collective. But then as soon as white people decide to get together as a collective and say, we have the right to exist and we have the right to self-determination, all of a sudden, the same groups of people, and I think you all know exactly which groups of people I'm on about, will be the first to come out and say, oh, no, white man, you can't do that. You cannot do that for no matter what. Instead of being a collective, you have to be individuals. You have to be atomized, don't question, just consume and all of that. It's... Again, I know that it's not original points to me, and it's pretty much a cliche at this point, but it's true. It's absolutely true. Let me see here. Indigenous advocate. Let's be honest. English culture has largely been destroyed. When do English people do anything culturally English? I mean, you have a point there, Indigenous advocate. But see, this is where we come in. We're trying to not just to recapture, but trying to rekindle the flame of English heritage and culture and history and all of that. We're trying to preserve that. We're trying to go to these globalist bastards and say, listen, this is our heritage, this is our culture, this is our history, this is from our own people. You're not going to change that. You're not going to destroy that, whether you like it or not. And we're trying to preserve all of that. Let me just continue on from there, because there's another point to make with this segment of the trailer.
Every part of who I am has been distorted or criminalized.
Right, it's interesting that, because so she's making a point about like the rise of terrorism, especially when it comes to Islamic groups. I mean, look, I'm sorry, sweetheart, but part of that is primarily to do with themselves, with that, whether it be ISIS or Al Qaeda, or even what was the other one that was going about during, I think it was when Barack Obama was president, was it Boko Haram? Don't know if they're still around or anything like that, but you know, and even you can even see what's going on today when it comes to terrorist attacks happen all across the West, especially here in Britain. In fact, we all remember what happened a few months ago, like back in November during Remembrance Day. There was that whole terrorist attack at the, if I remember, the hospital. I think it was meant to be like a maternity hospital. Again, please correct me if I'm wrong, in someone in the chat, but I think it was something to do with that. The guy who tried to blow up that place, you know, obviously he failed, and of course the only person that died was, of course, the scumbag himself. But that's just like one example. That's just only the tip of the iceberg. There's been plenty of examples of these kinds of attacks going on in the West. And for this bent to come out and say, oh, we're being portrayed as like criminals and all of that. Well, listen, sweetheart, part of that is to do with yourselves. I mean, another point to make about that, sorry, excuse me. Another point to make about that is, what about, I mean, dare I say, the whole grooming gang scandal? I mean, I don't think people would want me to go into that, because not only has it been talked about to death, but that's another prime example of what is wrong with the whole multicultural society we're living in just now. But anyway, continuing on from there.
Really just a bunch of white lies.
We're storming the Capitol! You're not patriots. You're ridiculous.
Says this Asian woman here. Like, so, okay, let's get into that, because let's actually put this into place once and for all when it comes to the January 6th, because these lefty douchebags are the same groups of people who will use the January 6th Capitol Hill protests. I mean, they would, for fuck's sake, they would even go as far as calling it like the next 9/11 or something as ridiculous as that. Regardless of what you think about the protest, I know there's many people who would give their different opinions about the overall event with that. But the whole point of the protest is people were pissed off at the results of the 2020 presidential election. You know, they genuinely believe that it was completely rigged. Now, of course, again, that's a part of an even bigger conspiracy that many people believe that it's not just rigged. This has been going on for like a long time. This was bound to happen. Some people believe that it was completely rigged and all of that. But the whole point here is many people believed it was rigged. They're pissed off with that, and they just want to express that anger. Of course, wanted to keep it as peaceful as humanly possible. Yes, one person died. I believe the woman was Ashley Babbitt. I believe I covered her death on the show prior to this episode, and I think I might have made a post about this on Twitter, with, of course, very mixed results. Mostly positive, I would say. People were, rest in peace, Ashley Babbitt. And then, of course, you get all of these snarky, cunty, lefty, pricks, come out of the woodwork. Oh, she was a terrorist. Oh, she was part of the white terrorism we're seeing today. It's like, shut up, you soy-filled bitch. Fuck you.
We're storming the Capitol! You're not patriots. You're ridiculous.
One of the definitions of American whiteness is ignorance.
again, with this whole Trump shit, again, regardless of what you think of Trump, whether he was a genuine president or he was basically in the pockets of the small hat types, if you will, again, it's 2022, and they're still using Trump as like this what do you want to call it, like not like an archetype, but basically as like a prime example of the rise of like white well-being or anything like that at all. Yeah, it's just it's ridiculous. It really is ridiculous with that. So anyway, continuing from there.
White people, we are not your problem. You are.
Should white people today feel any responsibility for slavery?
Hell yeah.
White
Hell yeah, white people should feel guilty for slavery. Listen here, numbnut. You realize that slavery was not created back in the 16th or 17th century when the white Europeans moved over to America and conquered America. Wait, slavery has been going on since the almost the dawn of man. In fact, there's even slavery going on today. But you never hear these people bring that up because it goes against their overall agenda. It's all part of an anti-white movement, anti-white narrative. And again, this idea of when it comes to America, look, I've mentioned this on the show before, and people mention this in the chat as well. America was founded as a white country. That was most of the people coming into America predominantly were white, and of course, in the immigration policy pre-1965 was about white people who were, or white Europeans who were of good standing or good character. That was all changed by a certain group of people. Again, I think we all know exactly who those people are. This in 1965 decided to change that and making it sound like as if, well, no, we should have non-whites come into the country. You know, America is a multicultural society and all of that. It's so transparent with that. But anyway, moving on from there.
Jesus or black Jesus?
Jesus was not white. Think of geography. Ain't no way Jesus walked around with blonde hair and blue eyes.
Again, this is all just the deconstruction of what makes us Europeans and that. Like, taking everything European, say history, culture, people, you name it. It's this whole deconstruction of everything that makes us who we are. It's complete with that. Complete with that.
White culture fears the end of the world. For us as Native people, the end of the world already happened like multiple times.
Symbols and monuments, these are mementos of racism. Bring that statue down.
Yeah, see, there we go. with the whole statue situation. These are mementos of racism. Listen here, motherfucker. These statues represent our history, our culture, and our people. Again, my apologies if it sounds like I'm repeating myself here, but it's absolutely true. If the whole point of these statues is to represent, and why they're being taken down is because they represent white Europeans. That's why they're being taken down. It's not because of this bullshit idea of, oh, because they represent slavery or during that times. No, it's because they represent white Europeans and the formation of white Europa or a white Europe. You get my drift. That's the whole point of this, of taking down the statues. And they all said, oh, no, don't worry. We just want to take down what was the first statue, especially in America, they wanted to take down? Was it the Robert E. Lee statue, if I remember? There was, of course, many people in our circles were pissed off with that, understandably so. Like, oh, if you take this statue down, you're just going to take down all other kinds of statues. And all these lefty retards were just like, oh, no, like you silly white people and all of that. We just want to take this statue down because we think it represents racism. Well, okay, statue gets taken down, then what fucking happens? More statues are being taken down. In fact, we all know exactly what happened during the BLM riots back in 2020. The statues, some of them were taken down, some of them were vandalized with BLM on them, or like systematic racism or all kinds of that, which actually, speaking of systematic racism, this is a point I really want to make just real quick. You know how these lefties, these establishment types, right, always make a point about systematic racism and racism is coded in our DNA and all of that. But then they would be the same exact group of people who make a point about, well, Britain or America or any of these European countries have always been a multicultural society, and these non-whites are the helpers of building Europe. Well, how can that be the case when systematic racism is also apparent during the formation of those countries? Like, is it me, or am I looking too deep into that, or what? It's absurd. It really is fucking absurd. Anyway, I'll continue on from there.
What about TCBY yogurt or something? Everybody can get behind.
The truth has to be told about history.
From the POC POV, motherfucker.
We have to make sure that these stories are told from our perspective.
There's always hope. You know what I'm saying? We don't give up.
It's about obliterating systemic and institutionalized racism.
See, again, he brings it up. Right, how can that be when you're the same group of people who want to spread your fucking bullshit example of history where you're the ones who actually made the country what it is today? That makes zero fucking sense. And not only that, another point to me is, again, something I mentioned on the show prior to this, but for all of these black people or people defending them talk about, oh, these great black or African architects of Europe or in America, and they helped build the country. Okay, if they did that with those countries, why can't they do the same thing with their ancestral fucking homelands? Why is it they're still living in mud houses or mud huts to this very day? Why is that? And they honestly cannot tell us it's because, oh, we took their resources or anything like that until, because there were plenty of resources in Africa. I mean, you could probably say it's all to do with IQ, but again, that's beside the point regarding to that. It's just, and again, another point to me, but if these people are just, again, I know this is a meme, these people, if these people are sick and tired of America or Britain or anywhere, like, say, a purely white country, if they think it's such a racist and horrible place to live in, go back to your own fucking ancestral homelands then. I mean, just look at BLM, for instance, right? All of the BLM, Black Lives Matter protesters and all of that, you see them wearing the red, what color was it? Red, green, and black t-shirts here representing Africa or specific African nations and all of that. It's like, okay, well, if you think Africa was this great bountiful land, then go fucking back there then. Just leave us white people the fuck alone. You know, you go on with your shit and we'll go on with ours. At this point in time, people need to realize that this whole multicultural experiment just doesn't work. And I think this idea of the separation of the races, I think it needs to happen, because we've seen throughout history that it just bringing different kinds of cultures and races into, say for example, Britain as an example, right? It clearly doesn't work. It clearly does not work. And I think people are slowly but surely waking up to this idea that, hey, maybe there is a racial component to it, and maybe we need to maybe talk about this more and maybe actually do something about it. Africans would laugh at them like they do now. Yeah, probably streaky bacon. Probably with that. Let me see. To continue on from there.
This is a wild place, y'all. It's a wild place. I know Harriet and Frederick be up there just like, what is they gonna do?
That was the most autistic shit I've ever seen. Anyway, well, that was the trailer for Everything's Gonna Be All White. Now, of course, that trailer was posted on the 1st of February. As you can see here, of course, I can't really see the dislike, but there's less likes and more dislikes. I'll save that. In fact, let me see if I can quickly get back onto here real quick. If I might as well just use this page here because I don't really need YouTube anymore. I'll get into the reviews of this particular show. let me just get onto here. Then I'll get into the cast and crew, because I thought, right, because of a show like this, wait, just purely anti-white propaganda, I was curious to see which groups of people would be participating in this type of production, because it's not a film or a documentary. Well, it's a documentary, but as a TV series, documentary series, I should say. Let me see, 'cause I did see the ratings for this as well. Where was it? Hold on, sorry, one sec. Rating, let's see. In fact, let's start off with Rotten Tomatoes, which is, of course, again, a very very lefty type of platform. Rotten Tomatoes is. Let's have a look and see what the results of that. So everything's going to be all white. Now, just remember, folks, with this part here, this was first premiered on as it says there, February the 11th this year. Average audience score 2%. So that's not the critics, which would be over here, which of course, interestingly enough, that the critics score are not at this part here at the moment, which again really makes you think, doesn't it? But the average audience score, which would be, of course, normal people, say like us, 2%. That's the lowest I've seen on Rotten Tomatoes. There was another one. Let's go into IMDb, for instance. Let's have a look at that. 1 out of 10 stars. Let me just have a quick look at that. That's the reviews. I'll come back to that in just a short second. Yeah, IMDb rating 1.0 out of 10 stars. And the overall people here, let me just click on this. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. 92% of people disliked or given it a 1 star out of 10. Let's see, 0.3 give it 3, 1.2 give it 2 stars. Of course, you can see with the 1 star, it's like 1,906 people. That really should say something with that. And of course, the 107, like, those are just cuckold douchebags. Like, look at that, 5.2% for 10 out of 10. Those people should probably reevaluate themselves, I would say, but I wouldn't be surprised, if they would like a show like that. They're probably massive traitors to begin with. But anyway, more people dislike the show than people actually liked it. So again, that should tell you something with that. That definitely should tell you something with that. Let's have a look at the reviews coming in here. So I'll just maybe read out 1 or 2 reviews, and then I'll move on to the cast and crew, because I think that'd be really interesting. That's something I always want to have a look into. So, an honest review, 1 star out of 10. I don't know why I'm going to bother. IMDb has a great habit of blocking all the negative reviews of wokeness or Disney. But yeah, this is about hate. In fact, it's about dividing America and fostering racial hatred by once more accusing everyone of a specific race for all the problems that the world has ever faced, ever, and telling people of that race that they are responsible for what people did before them and should therefore be hated. Shows like this are going to be embarrassing once racism is looked at as evil again. Well, as much as I can see the point being made, I don't know the gender of the person, but the whole point of shows like this, and how even though people are saying, "Oh, this show is going to be canceled, this is incredibly unpopular," well, and people, I think there's some people are saying because of how low the ratings are, it's the type of show that would easily get canceled right away. I mean, the show itself has got 4 episodes in. If it was meant to be canceled, I think after the first episode, it would be canceled like that. But the fact of the matter is, there's actually 4 episodes down, and I don't know how many episodes. I think it's meant to be like a mini series from what I remember seeing, but it's not going to be gone anytime soon. This is again a show that's promoting the anti-white agenda. I'll just read out one last review and then we'll move on from there to the cast and crew. Let's see. Raise your hand if you need another sermon on wokeness and how awful white people are. I don't. I really don't. As a white 63-year-old, very liberal American male, Jesus, and here's the worst part. A socialist, to be honest, that's even more fucking cringe. I don't need these people to lecture me. The people who may need the education won't watch this humorless pile and will anger a lot of fence sitters. We just got rid of the fascist president, and tribe like this may move the country back in that direction. So thanks for that. There are some serious problems. Okay, a problem there with that, right? As cringe as this person is saying, this guy is saying that they're a very liberal person. In fact, they're a socialist, and of course, the same song and dance. Oh, Trump is like the worst president ever. He's the fascist. You know, blah blah blah. In fact, I think it was English Rose that said in the chat that this is an example of even their own people who you think would support like stuff like this. Even they are against this type of show, which again should really say something. But again, this whole thing, as I mentioned before, this show is an example of promoting anti-white hatred. That's the whole point of it. There are some serious problems with messaging in America. We need to talk a lot more about economics and do a lot less name calling. The issue is income inequality. After that, it's about the environment. Most of the folks in this terrible film are wealthy and don't give a crap about economics. To be fair, he does actually have a valid point there. They got their piece of the pie, and that's good enough for them. They do a good job of turning many middle and lower class white Americans away from liberal ideas and into the arms of morons like Trump. Congratulations. I don't agree with that last part, but that part in terms of people who are involved making the show had a piece of the pie and they don't care about, say, economics or anything like that. He's got a valid point there, to be honest. But anyway, let's moving on from there. This is where I'll get into the cast and crew. Now, this was something, as I mentioned, I was very curious about. Which groups of people would be involved with a production like this? I know there may be some people that may already give their answers, like the usual suspects, if you will. Let me see if I can find cast and crew again. Hold on 1 second. I did have it before. I'll see if I can get it up here again. Cast and crew. Let's have a look at this together, and then we'll see with that. So, Sacha Jenkins, I hope I pronounced that right. He's, of course, a black filmmaker. No any Jewish heritage or anything like that at all, or anything like that. However, there's some names that do pique my interest, like this one here, John Goodman. No, not the actor John Goodman, but in this case, a writer for the show and also the producer. Let's have a look at this real quick. Now, sure, it will give us like a full bio of the person in question. Let's have a look at this real quick. John Goodman is a 2-time Emmy Award winner who, over the course of his television and film career, has written, produced, directed, or supervised hundreds of hours of programming for broadcast in the United States and abroad. Raised in Harlem, Mr. Goodman comes from a wealthy steeped in journalism and the arts. His father started New York radio stations WLIB's News and Public Affairs Department and was a member of the editorial board of the Hartford Times. His mother, Amelia Myers Goodman, was a classically trained pianist and educator who performed off Broadway in New York and at the first World Festival of Black Arts held in Dakar, Senegal. Hope I pronounced that right. If I don't, my apologies, in 1966. In addition to writing, producing, and directing, Mr. Goodman is the author of the historical essays from 2006 to 2010. Oh, sorry, I missed a part. Sorry, my bad. Featured in the Kennedy's Mystique Creating Camelot, 2005, National Geographic Books. He was a adjunct professor at the arts in the graduate film program at NYU's Tisch School of the Arts, where he taught documentary directing to third-year MFA candidates. A graduate of Vanderbilt University School of Law, Mr. Goodman began his career in film and television as an entertainment attorney in New York City. So I don't know if maybe he was like... I did try to see if I could find more about him on, say... see on Wikipedia or anything like that at all, but I couldn't really find anything. Let me have a look and see. Let's have a look at the father here, just real quick. George W. Goodman was an actor known for The Cool World, 1963. He was married to Amelia Myers. He died on April 1st, 1981 in Hartford, Connecticut, USA. April Fool's Day. Just thought I'd make that point regarding to that. Journalist and amateur jazz musician whose uncle, Leon H. Washington Jr., founded the Los Angeles Sentinel in 1933. His son, John Goodman, is a screenwriter. Of course, we mentioned about that just now. So, wonder if there's anyone else in particular that might pique my interest in terms of people, of course, making the production. Let me see here. Maybe some of the, I don't want to say the actors, because again, it's not like a fictional production or anything like that at all. This is meant to be, real life documentary and whatnot. Let me have a look and see here. What we see? Gabriel Alvarez, Cameron Dennis, John Chimples. What kind of a fucking name is that? Anyway, let's have a look and see. Right. Nothing really there, but yeah, I would definitely say they're all like lefty types and all of that. There was actually one point I almost forgot to mention about the show itself during that trailer, and I don't know if anyone else may have caught this besides myself, but did anyone see that most of the people who participated in the documentary itself, of course, being the trailer and whatnot, notice how they were all smiling and giggling and laughing and all of that, and yet they're the same group of people who claim to be the oppressed people and all of that, which again really makes you think, doesn't it? It really gets the noggin jogging there. Really gets the noggin jogging. Anyway, I think I've said my piece about that. It's a complete train wreck of a show. Of course, thankfully, a lot of people are tearing the show apart. Even leftists are tearing the show apart, despite the fact they make such a ridiculous points to make about that. Of course, the whole Trump stuff and all of that. But ultimately speaking, the show itself, as we talked about just now, is incredibly anti-white, and I don't see it being cancelled anytime soon because, again, it's part of that overall agenda. Anyway, that being said, I'll move on to the next topic, which, of course, is the Chris Donald killer. Now, again, as I said earlier on, this came to my attention, I think it was yesterday or the day before. I think it might have been yesterday. But, again, a lot of the guys from PA Scotland were talking about this, understandably so, being that it's Scottish related, and of course is in relation to the Chris Donald murder, of course being in current times and whatnot. So let me see here. Just have a look and see if I can find that. Okay, just going to share the screen again real quick and then see from there. So I hope everyone's enjoying the show tonight. I'll definitely see if I can finish tonight's episode just after 8 o'clock. Again, just to make up the 2-hour mark for the show with that. Of course, me being late for 6 or 7 minutes. But hopefully everyone's enjoying the episode tonight. I think the first hour I've talked about that trailer in and of its own. And there's actually other topics I really wanted to discuss. But maybe I can save them for the next episode, but with Joe and Bill on. But we'll see. Anyway. Am I sharing the screen? I am. Cool. Yes, thank you, English Rose. Please feel invited to hit the like button if you haven't done so already. I would definitely recommend people doing that. It would be much appreciated. Real quick from time, just seen Greg started making clothes. What kind of Greg's time are you? I hope you're not referring to the fact of the the food manufacturer, you like sausage rolls and steak bakes and all of that, because it's like that's like having McDonald's or Burger King decide to make a clothing line or anything like that at all. That's the bakers. Oh, the actual bakers, Greg's. Oh my god. What? Why the fuck would the bakers like Greg's making like clothing line? Again, that's like having edible clothes. That's like having Burger King or McDonald's or a Subway or anything like that would start their own clothing line. It's like, why? Like what's the point? Gregson Primark joined forces to make clothing. That's the most retarded thing I've ever heard of. So Gregson Primark and Primark decided to team up to make clothes. Okay, that's okay. I'll be rocking my Greg's hoodie at the next leafleting session. I can't wait for that. They need the money. Well, well, it's quite odd that, but on the way to cop the Greg's shoes, oh god, vegan socks, and don't get me started with vegan stuff. Anyway, sorry, moving on from there, let's get into the actual topic itself. Race hate killer Imran Baldi, Baldi Shahid, cuts own throat in jail. Oh, I thought it was someone else that did that, but I guess he attempted suicide or maybe tried to gain sympathy and all of that. But anyway, so let's have a look and see this here. This article was posted on Valentine's Day, the 14th. By the way, I hope everyone had a great Valentine's Day. I actually enjoyed the tea time episode with Sam and Laura, and also Kenny and our Claire. A very wholesome episode. I really did enjoy that. Really wholesome stuff. Let me see here. CCTV. Yeah, maybe I should show that just in case. Right, I'll just get into the article itself right here. Race hate killer Imran Baldi Shahid throat has been cut at HMP Grampian, according to a prison source. The notorious murderer is said to have suffered a self-inflicted injury at the Peterhead facility on Sunday, where he is serving a 25-year sentence. A prison insider told the Daily Record 45-year-old Shahid's neck was slashed in the incident. They said the inmate, nicknamed Baldi, the guy that killed Chris Donald, has got a slashed throat. Police on Monday confirmed the incident on the record. Officers were made aware of a 45-year-old man found injured inside the clinic just before 5 p.m. on Sunday. The man was rushed to Aberdeen Royal Infirmary for treatment. So, I'll get to a point about that later on. Hold on. The extent of his injuries and current medical condition were not disclosed. Sorry, the exact circumstances surrounding the incident were not yet known. Shahid was one of the monsters who brutally murdered 15-year-old Chris Donald in 2004. There's the image of Chris Donald there. Schoolboy Chris was abducted by 5 men from Kenmure Street in Glasgow's South Side on March 15, 2004. The thugs were associated with the local British Pakistani gang led by Evil Shahid. The kidnapping was cited as apparent revenge for an attack on Shahid at a nightclub in Glasgow city centre the night before by a local white gang. Teenager Chris was targeted as an example of a white boy from the McCulloch Street area, despite having no involvement in the nightclub attack or in any gang warfare. But they still killed him because he was white and they wanted to send a message. Complete fucking scumbags. He was taken on a 200-mile journey to Dundee and back while his kidnappers made phone calls looking for a house to take him to. With no luck, they returned to Glasgow and took him to the Clyde Walkway. See, this is the part where it goes in depth of what exactly they did to him. I don't really want to get into that because the description of the event of what happened to Chris absolutely just horrible. So I'll move on to further down with the article. Let me see. Shahid had served 2 previous jail terms for serious violence and was freed just 3 months before Chris's murder. Let me see. Continuing from there. He and 2 others fled to Pakistan, but he and his gang members were extradited to Scotland after a personal appeal to Pakistan authorities by Glasgow MP Mohammed Sarwar and brought to justice. Extradited, sorry, my bad. He has been kept behind bars at various prisons such as Inverness, Peterhead, Perth, Kilmarnock, and Sutton. In 2019, our sister titled The Sunday Mail reported that Baldi punched a fellow prisoner in Inverness in a bid to get a move to jail nearer to his family in Glasgow, but the Scottish Prison Service, SPS, instead returned him to Grampian in Peterhead, where he had originally been serving his sentence. In January 2017, we reported how Shahid was claiming to be Jewish to get expensively prepared kosher meals in jail. The fucking audacity of this scumbag. Well, he was willing to do anything to try and get like an easier sentence or like easier prison life or anything like that. Despite the fact what this guy did to Chris Donald, absolute fucking scumbag. Miller had previously used his Muslim faith in a failed bid to win damages from the taxpayer for being kept in solitary. He complained about missing Ramadan prayers while locked in segregation. Oh, boo fucking who for you. Fucking simp. In October that year, we also revealed how Shahid had taken prison chiefs at Peterhead to court after they confiscated his penis pump and Xbox. Wait, penis pump? What the fuck is a penis pump? Actually, I don't want to look that up. I don't even know why you would have a penis pump, but okay, and an Xbox. And in 2013, Shahid was battered over the head with a 15-kilogram dumbbell by convicted murderer William Crawford in the gym at Kilmarnock Prison. And one last part here. An SPS spokeswoman told the Record, "We do not comment on individual cases." Police said they are. Sorry, what's this word? Sorry, again, not the master pronunciations with that, but I do try my best. Lysing, I hope I pronounced that right, with SPS chiefs. A force spokesman told the Record, "We were made aware of a man, 45, found injured within HMP Grampian in Peterhead around 4:55 p.m. on Sunday, February the 13th. The man was taken to Aberdeen Royal Infirmary, and officers were liaising with the Scottish Prison Service." So I guess maybe I get looking after him. I'm assuming it means, or anything like that at all with that. But anyway, the Scottish Ambulance Service has been contacted for comment, and that's the end of the article right there. So yeah, what it says in the article with that is a self-inflicted cut to the throat. I guess that was meant to be his attempt to try and maybe get out of prison in some way, shape, or form. But again, just the length someone like him would go through. Oh, petrol pump. Oh, right. Okay. I don't know if it's supposed to be a petrol pump. I don't know why they would call it a penis pump, but okay. Right, fair enough. Bit like a foot pump. Right. Okay. Again, I don't know why you would call it a penis pump. Anyway, moving on from there. The fact of the matter is that this guy, as I said, the lengths he will go through to try and get like an easier sentence or an easier prison life. Absolute. And yeah, I know people in the chat have already said it as well. It's just pure evil. I mean, it is pure evil. There's no other way around it. It's pure fucking evil. Absolutely disgusting stuff. Let me have a look and see here. Religion rules unless you're a Christian. Yeah, good point, Streaky Bacon. Yeah. If you're a Christian, fuck it. You still get like a lengthy sentence and all of that. Bill Athling, real quick. He's probably after an early release on mental health grounds, Chief Moody. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised at that, Bill. I would not be surprised at that whatsoever. And of course, again, someone like him would try to use the whole mental health card. I have mental health issues now. Like, please help me with all of that. It's like, fuck you. Unbelievable. Someone would do that. Let me see. Right. Okay. Moving on from there. More people in the chat. Never seen Austin Powers. I have not. No, I've never seen any of the movies. I might have seen clips of Austin Powers, but I never actually sat down and watched them. So it's a pump for erectile dysfunction. Right. Okay. Let's see here. Let me see here. That's Mankey Law. Why would they even give that to him in jail? Well, it's the same question you would ask. Why would they give him like an Xbox when he's in prison? I guess to pass the time or all of that. But really makes you think, doesn't it? Really makes you think. Real quick from Rory Herbert. Chief Moody, 80 miles per hour winds forecast down here in the southwest when Storm Eunice hits early tomorrow morning. And you think it's windy up in Scotland. Yeah, I mean, I have heard about the storm that's happening in down south. Hopefully everything will be okay and not any major damages will be done or anything like that at all. So, but yeah, just hopefully everything will be there. So. Let me see here. Right. Okay, I'll just move on from there. So we covered those two. I guess I could talk about this. I would say maybe this could be like a pseudo follow-up to what I talked about. I think it was either the previous episode or episode 62. Basically, it's the whole Jimmy Carr controversy that happened on his recent Netflix special. 100 miles per hour predicted for Wales. Jesus, that sounds really bad. Well, again, like I said to Rory, hopefully everything will be fine. Not any major damages will occur during the storm. There's no way to see with that. So, I heard the storms are coming in hard tomorrow. We'll see. I don't know. I really don't know how bad it will be. I guess it's a case of we'll just need to wait and see what happens. I mean, at the moment, it seems pretty quiet outside. I don't hear any winds blowing or anything like that. Although, when I was walking back from work earlier on, I did kind of get a glimpse. Well, the winds weren't bad. They weren't like anything major or anything like that. It wasn't earlier today. I think it was yesterday when I was walking back from work. It was quite windy then, and I was like, "Oh, this is like really bad." I wish they would stop giving storms names. It's pure cringe. Yeah, I can see. I can see where you're coming from, Indigenous advocates. I wouldn't say it's cringy. I would just say it's pretty unnecessary. It's like, what's the point of giving it a storm a name when it's going to be a similar storm or maybe the exact same storm either later on this year or next year? But we won't notice the difference in Wales normal February. Fair enough, Bill. Fair enough. Those trees down in Gateshead after last two storms. So sad. I love trees. Damn. Hopefully it won't be any worse damage or anything like that. So. I'll get into the Jimmy Carr story. I think I did talk about this on the previous episode or the episode before that. Let me have a look and see just now. Just share the screen real quick. There we go. Your privacy options, that's fine and dandy, I guess. Anyway, from the Independent, new law would see Netflix prosecuted over Jimmy Carr joke, says Minister. A Labour MP has also asked Netflix to remove Jimmy Carr's special from the platform. This was published.
Okay, strap in, everyone. You ready?
Okay, hold on a minute here. So we'll just watch the video and then we'll get into the actual article itself. But yeah, this is another case example of trying to control speech and trying to arrest people for daring to speak out about certain topics like the Holocaust, for that matter. I'll share the screen real quick, and then we'll continue on from there. So 3, 2, 1.
Okay, strap in, everyone. You ready? When people talk about the Holocaust, they talk about the tragedy and horror of 6 million Jewish lives being lost to the Nazi war machine. But they never mention the thousands of gypsies that were killed by the Nazis. No one ever wants to talk about that because no one ever wants to talk about the positives.
That's the video there. So regarding to the actual article itself, so basically, I'll have to go over. Oh God, fucking damn! I need to register to actually read the article. That's completely gay. Well, I'll just get into this real quick. So basically, there's a Labour MP. If I even says there, Nadine Dorris. Let me just have a look and see this person here. Basically, they wanted to create a new law that would prevent people like Jimmy Carr or anyone like that making these horrendous jokes about the Holocaust or any of these specific events in history.
Okay,
And as I said,
you ready?
it's basically a way of trying to control speech once again. I think it's actually gives me the full article. Sweet. So long story short, it's trying to control speech. It's trying to control people like Jimmy Carr from ever making jokes about that ever again. Not just Jimmy Carr, by the way, or even the platform Netflix. It's trying to prosecute or potentially prosecute people who even laughed at the joke itself. Never mind the fact that the whole point of the joke is that it's a joke, a harmless fucking joke. But of course, we live in a society where jokes should never be allowed, and we need to prosecute people to we need to prosecute people for basically laughing at certain materials. But anyway, Culture Secretary Nadine Dorries has suggested new laws would hold to account streaming sites and possibly prosecute them for airing jokes such as those made by Jimmy Carr about the traveling community and the Holocaust. Carr issued a trigger warning, quote unquote, to the audience at the beginning of his 1-hour Netflix special, His Dark Material, admitting his performance contained terrible things. Well, yeah, no shit, Sherlock. I mean, I know, like, say, trigger warnings are not like a new thing. You can make an argument that warning labels have always been a thing with media for a long, long time. Basically telling people, listen, this TV show, this film, this game, this comic book, graphic novel, or even novel, or anything like that at all may contain some things that some people may find offensive or disturbing or anything like that at all. And if you can't handle that, then it's probably not a good idea to indulge yourself in this type of material. It's basically warning people, hey, you might not like this, maybe don't purchase it, or anything like that at all. And it's like, okay, at that point, a rational person would look at that and think, okay, I'll not bother with that. But instead, they just continue on to watch it or read it or anything like that at all. And of course, end up complaining because of that. They still complain about it. Oh, I'm offended. Yeah. Anyway, in a widely shared clip from the show, Carr joked about the horror of the Holocaust and 6 million Jewish lives being lost, before, in the punchline, making a disparaging remark about the deaths of thousands of gypsies at the hand of the Nazis or the Germans. But Ms. Dorries suggested that in the future, new laws would hold Netflix to account for such content. Speaking on BBC Breakfast, she said, "We are looking at legislation via the media bill, which would bring into scope those comments from other video on demand streaming outlets like Netflix." I mean, it's just, there's more here. Cool. So it's interesting that we're already looking at future legislation to bring into scope those sort of comments. Ms. Dorries said that the comments were abhorrent and they just shouldn't be on television. But it was put to her that in a tweet in 2017, she had claimed that left-wing snowflakes are killing comedy. Oh, right. That's interesting. She would make a comment about that. Interesting. So let's have a look here. She said, well, that's not comedy. What Jimmy Carr did last night is not comedy. And I'm no angel on Twitter. Nobody is. But I just would like to say that nothing I've ever put on Twitter has been harmful or abusive. Right? Fair enough. So by that logic, nothing what Jimmy Carr said was harmful or abusive. It's a fucking joke. Take it or leave it. You may be offended, but you know what? That's your prerogative. Don't watch the rest of the show. That's it. Simple as. Let me see here. But that last night, Jimmy Carr's comments, no one can call that, snowflake or bookishness. It was just appalling. Well, I think you're kind of proving the point there that you're acting like a snowflake and you're acting incredibly damn it, had that in my head. Hypersensitive regarding to that. She said the comments are shocking and abhorrent and unacceptable. Okay, if that's your opinion, you can move on with your life and not talk about the show or anything like that anymore. But hey, let me see. not just because he was making fun of the basis of people who died in the most appalling circumstances, but on the pain and suffering of many thousands of families. Okay, she told Times Radio, "We don't have the ability now legally to hold Netflix to account for streaming that, but very shortly we will." Asked on Sky News if there was any way this new law would put restrictions on free speech, she said no, absolutely not. So okay, let me just piece together this mental gymnastics here, right? So you want to prosecute streaming services like Netflix and Hulu and Amazon Prime and all of that for daring to have content like Jimmy Carr's His Dark Material because they may be somewhat offensive. So you want to prosecute Jimmy Carr, these streaming platforms, and even people who may laugh at the joke in and of itself, but that's not going against free speech. The fucking mental gymnastics from people like from people like this is astonishing. It's absolutely astonishing. We've been very, very well, because I'm a conservative. Bitch, you're not a fucking conservative. There's nothing conservative about you whatsoever. I mean, what the fuck are you even conserving? I've been very, very careful about that. No, you haven't. You basically come out of the woodwork and say, yeah, we're against free speech, but we're also going to say we're not against free speech. Well, yes, you are. This whole thing, what you're doing right now, is going against the very essence of free speech. How the hell is it not exactly? The mental gymnastics and the hypocrisy is astounding. Absolutely astounding. Labour MP Nadia Whittam has written to Netflix urging the platform to remove Jimmy Carr's latest stand-up special, which has been heavily criticised over a joke about the Holocaust. The Traveller Movement, here they go, a charity supporting the traveller community in the UK, said in response to the show, "This is truly disturbing and goes way beyond humour. It's a fucking joke. It's a harmless fucking joke. Like, get the fuck over it with yourselves." In a tweet, the charity said, "We need all your support in calling this out. Stop travel hate. Stop funding hate." We're being oppressed. Here, give us money. Fuck off. The charity has launched a petition to Netflix calling for the removal of the segments of His Dark Material, which celebrates the, I'm assuming it's meant to be the Romanian genocide regarding to that, or the Romanite genocide, but anyway. A statement has, this is a tweet here, Auschwitz Memorial, here we go. Jimmy Carr learned about fate of some 23,000 Roma and Sinti deported to Auschwitz. Our online lesson, okay, there's propaganda there, and podcast about their story is there. It's sad to hear words that can fuel prejudice, hurt people, and defile memory of their tragedy. And these are probably the same people who will fucking laugh at some historical event like Holodomor, but that's beside the point. A statement has also been been issued by the Holocaust Memorial Day Trust that called out Carr's abhorrent jokes, quote unquote. We are absolutely appalled at Jimmy Carr's comment about persecution suffered by Roma and Sinti people under Nazi oppression, and horrified that gales of laughter followed his remarks. CEO Olivia Marks Waldman said. So again, this is what I'm actually talking about. They want to prosecute people, normal everyday people, for just laughing at the joke. Absolutely shameful, these people. Absolutely shameful. Hundreds of thousands of Roma and Sinti people suffered prejudice, slave labor, sterilization, and mass murder simply because of their identity. These are not experiences for mockery. The Auschwitz Memorial called for Carr to learn about the fate of some 23,000, and of course I mentioned that in a tweet to their 1.2 million followers. TV personality Rob Reinders said that the truly disturbing thing about the clip is how the audience clapped and cheered instead of leaving. God, just fuck off, you fucking virtue signaling douchebags. Honestly, I'm just, oh my goodness, I'm so triggered. These people, why were they laughing at the joke and not leave? Because it's such a harmful, disgusting joke. You know, it's just, Yeah, you just said it there. It's a joke. It's a harmless fucking joke. And if you don't like it, you're the one who needs to fucking leave. Why is it you want people to suffer because you're a hypersensitive cunt? Honestly, it's oh my god. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable the lengths that these people will go to virtue signal. And that seems to be the end of the article right there. But anyway, I'll come back onto here real quick. And oh my god, it's there's a comment by Ugly Truth. Let's have a look and see. Yeah, because Jippos are lovely people. Well, let's let's be careful with that, Rob. But yeah, I agree. I do agree with what you're trying to say there, Ugly Truth. I do agree with that. Indigenous advocate, the traveling community, quote unquote, commits a massive amount of crime in Britain. They leave their sites in a terrible state. They're all rip-off merchants. That I can agree. Indigenous advocate. Let's have a look and see here. They stayed seated because they've paid to be there. Exactly that. Exile Viking real quick, and I'll move on to the next topic. I think it might be the final topic, or it might be something I might talk about later on. But anyway, when these professional victims start calling out BLM, acknowledge the slave trading going on in Africa, then maybe I'll take them a bit more seriously. Not. Good point there. Right then. So that was that. We'll move on from there. I would rather find Ebola in my garden than a God. Dear. Dear. Let's see. I'll get on with the. I would say, sorry, I'm late. Work has been nuts. No worries, Gamma Sandwich. You made it onto the final topic of the show tonight. Well, I would say the second final. I might talk about something completely separate thing after this topic here, but I'll just briefly get into this and then we'll move on from there. So let's see. Share the screen real quick. Let's have a look at this real quick and see. So from the National, police receive key documents over £600,000 raised by SNP for independence campaign and fraud inquiry. The plot thickens with this part. The plot thickens. This was published. This is a fairly new article. This was published on the 7th of February, 10 days ago, in fact. Have a look at this real quick. In fact, another point to make is, what is it with the SNP and money being lost? Again, it really makes you think, doesn't it? Really makes you think. Police Scotland executed a warrant yesterday in an investigation, well, this will be the 6th of February, into £600,000 of missing, quote-unquote, funds that were raised by the SNP. The money in question was raised from donations that were intended for a specific purpose of campaigning for Scottish independence. It has been alleged that the funds were then spent elsewhere, which has sparked accusations of fraud, with Police Scotland commencing their investigations last summer. So yeah, I do remember this. I don't know if I talked about this on the show before, but I remember this was going on at the time. And the Police Scotland, unfortunately, had to make it as they couldn't find any specific evidence because, of course, they were in line with the SNP, meaning that several members, inspectors or detectives or anything like that from Police Scotland, of course, were very heavy SNP supporters. So, of course, they're going to try and drop the case with that. But anyway, it has been alleged that the funds were then spent elsewhere, which has sparked. Oh, I read the part already. Sorry. The Mail on Sunday has also reported that Police Scotland took possession of a substantial number of documents before Christmas. A row has prompted some resignations within the party, including Douglas Chapman, quitting as National Treasurer, and Joanna Cherry standing down from the party's ruling National Executive Committee. A Police Scotland spokesperson has said that inquiries are ongoing. SNP President Michael Russell has previously said that the £600,000 is not missing, quote unquote, and that the money is still available for this purpose. So why is the case still ongoing then if it's not missing? Again, really gets the noggin jogging there. But anyway, the former constitutional Affairs, sorry, my bad, I can't exactly read tonight. Secretary was asked at a national roadshow event last year about the matter after police last month launched a formal investigation following a number of complaints made by people who had donated cash. Colin Beattie, the party's treasurer, has given a very comprehensive and clear statement of where the money is, that money is available for campaigning for independence. It is accounted for minutely, and it will be spent on independence, Russell said. The procedures used for it were exactly the same procedures we have used for all previous similar funds, and there was nothing suspicious or devious about it whatsoever. But yet the case is still going on and it's being investigated for fraud. Again, really makes you think, doesn't it? Really makes you think. One of the things we do suffer from is a malice from some people, which goes on repeating things even when they are not true. I also saw when Nicola Sturgeon asked me to take this job on, and the NEC confirmed that I saw somebody had admitted to falsifying a tweet to say that I was going to receive part of the money. For the record, I am not paid for what I do as president of the SNP or in the independence unit. I haven't asked for money, and I am not given money, and I'm currently not paid £600,000. So as far as I'm concerned, there is no missing money. This is simply not sure, and I think the repetition of it is malicious. But there are some people who will go on believing it no matter what. So why is there still an ongoing investigation then? If the money is not missing, if it's still there and it's still going to be used for the purposes of raising awareness for Scottish independence, why is it still being investigated under Police Scotland? Why is it still coming back as fraud? Anyway, the fact the accountant methods have remained the same for a very long time, and that the accounts have been fully audited. Wait, is that saying what? Wait, repeating it anyway. And that they met all the legal requirements doesn't seem to matter. We do sometimes live in a post-truth society, but there is no missing money, absolutely none, and that money will be used for independence, and it is not being used on me. Well, I think this, if it comes back as like the fraud is incredibly true and all of that, it's going to be really funny, and these quotes right here will be completely outdated if it were to come back as completely false. Like the false fraud or the fraud would come back as actually it is definitely fraud with that. But anyway, that's the SNP going into more of course fraudulent scams and all of that, which of course no one should really be surprised with that whatsoever. But anyway, I would definitely say the SNP should be kicked out. The party at this point is a complete farce, a complete joke at this point. I think people are waking up to the idea that the SNP are not their friends, but definitely they're enemies of the Scottish people. But anyway, Rigor Mortis, real quick. He asked a question. Did you see the SNP are going to start recording vaccination statuses for hospitalization due to vaccine skeptics? I did see that, Rigor Mortis, and that was something I thought I would cover next episode on Sunday, and maybe I could talk about this with Joe and Bill and any other member from PA Wales. But since it's been brought up here, Rigor Mortis, I might as well talk about it here. Actually, let me also bring up, I won't showcase the Telegram page, but I'll definitely see if I can bring up the article here real quick. And where was it? I've seen it. I think it was in one of the chat groups. Again, I won't share the screen itself, but let me have a look and see. Oh, God damn it, I didn't mean to go this far. I'll see if I can find the article in question. Let me see here. Yes, I did see that earlier on. Let me see here. See if I can try and quickly find that here. A minute. If I don't find the article, I'll just see if I can talk about without bringing up the article in question. I don't see if I can find it just now. It should be here somewhere. Oh yeah, right. Okay, I got it here. Forwarded from Native is Concerned. Oh, was it him that published that? Okay, cool. Is it? Yeah, it's the same Native is Concerned. I'll join this chat. Why not? Anyway, right. So I don't know if this is the same one I've read earlier on, or if this is something like maybe completely different. It's on the Glasgow Times. All right. Okay. Right. I'll just see if I can quickly. Yeah, you know what? I might as well see if I can find the article if it's on the Glasgow Times. Let me see here. Sorry, folks. I wasn't planning on talking about this for tonight's episode. Maybe I can postpone that for a later episode. But since it's been brought up, I might as well talk about it here. Let me see if I can find this real quick. Right, let's see. Here it is. Cool. Excellent. Thank you for that, Rigor Mortis. I appreciate that. Telling me this from Glasgow Times. Because I came across this on Telegram. And again, it was something that was shared on PA Scotland's page. Wait, where's this happening here? Hold on. Maybe it can be like. Where's the. All right, there we go. Wow, I don't know what's happened with that. Right, okay. Hold on, sorry, 1 second. Okay, I don't know what happened there, but anyway, go back on here. Share the screen. I'll talk about this briefly, but yeah. COVID data will not be published over concerns as misrepresented by anti-vaxxers. Public Health Scotland will stop publishing data on COVID deaths and hospitalizations by vaccination statuses or status over concerns it is being misrepresented by anti-vax campaigners. That right there should be a massive red flag for people when it comes to this whole COVID fiasco. The fact that they're going to be stopped publishing data on COVID deaths and hospitalizations by vaccination statuses, that really should tell you something there, that they know for a fact that the vaccine doesn't work. They know for a fact that this is all part of the bigger plan to try and, like, what would you say, like maybe trying to change our DNAs and whatnot. But again, it really should get the noggin jogging for people. Like, why would they want to stop publicizing data about COVID deaths and hospitalizations under vaccination statuses? It's probably because of the fact that they know for a fact it's all bullshit. It's all part of this all bigger agenda, and that should really raise red flags to many people regarding to that. Yeah, even Ugly Truth in the chat says the truth will not be published because it exposes the scam. Exactly that, Ugly Truth. Exactly that. What's wrong with being anti-vax? It's a view. Well, there's absolutely nothing wrong with being anti-vax, but again, this is all part of the media. They're trying to portray us anti-vaxxers as the enemy of the state. Oh, don't trust the anti-vaxxers. They're horrible. They're disgusting people. They're complete lunatics and all of that. Let me see. So yeah, again, I'll just briefly touch upon the article, but thank you, Rigor Mortis, for bringing that up. It's just an example of they know for a fact it's all bullshit, and in this case, the mainstream media. And if they continue on publishing it, people are just going to keep on continuing to wake up from it. Yeah, it is censorship. It's censorship of the highest order. I would also say this is a clear example that we're living in a full-on communist state, a full-on 1984 state, if you will, or George Orwell state, where the truth will be censored and all of that. And it's very scary times we're living in just now. Very, very scary times indeed. But I think even stuff like that, I think that should wake a lot more people up to this idea of, well, wait a minute. if the vaccination is supposed to be helpful for us, why are they censoring information about hospitalizations and COVID deaths under these vaccine statuses and all of that? Hopefully with that, it should definitely wake a lot more people up with that. But again, only time will tell with that. Only time will tell. Right then, I think that covers everything I'm going to be talking about tonight. Although there is one thing I might want to talk about just now. Now, this may be completely somewhat out of left field, maybe something completely different. Something I've been thinking about for a long time, I would say. And I don't know about anyone else, and this might come off as very nerdy or geeky or anything like that at all, but I wonder if there's anyone in the chat who's ever thought of the idea of the multiverse. The multiverse, like multiple universes. So we live in a universe at the moment, right? And what if there's an idea of there's like multiple different universes out there just now? Please don't two out yourself. All right. It's something for me I've always been fascinated with, because with the concept of the multiverse, there's like plethora of different like ways of history or things, or things could be completely different when it comes to these universes. There's bound to be other inhabited planets. Yeah, maybe, but I'm more curious about the idea of, like, say, the multiverse. Like, see, for example, billions mics away, exactly, with that Indigenous advocate. Say, for example, I'm a nationalist just now, but in another universe, I could be a complete leftist or anything like that at all, full-on communist or still a centrist or anything like that at all in different universes. Or maybe your parents might not have met, or maybe the circumstances might have changed or anything like that. Certain historical events might have been different in those different types of universes. It's just stuff like that. It's completely stuff like that. What's this? Hold on a sec. Is that a cheat for you? I thought you were gonna out yourself as a gay on air. No, fuck no, absolutely not. No, definitely not. Absolutely not. Nothing like that at all. The point I'm trying to make here is, I know this may be completely out of left field, but I've always been interested in the idea of like the multiverse and all of that. So, I don't know if anyone else may share that sentiment, but Moody just wants to be reborn as a haggis. Well, no, but see, but that's a valid point, Rory. I mean, I know that may be a joke with that, but again, that's all part of it. There's multiple different universes out there, and it's an infinite amount of possibilities with that. That means there's an even better looking version of me somewhere. That's ridiculous. Well, I mean, that's a valid point with that. There's different kinds of examples out there with that. Thank God, Chief. I prefer women, Streaky Bacon. Don't worry. But yeah, I just thought I would bring that up. Some scientists, WR, but I just thought I would bring that up during the show because it's something I've always been fascinated with. And I don't know if maybe people might share that sentiment as well when it comes to the concept of the multiverse. But anyway, so I hope it didn't come off as like majorly like geeky or nerdy, but again, when it comes to science, that was something that I've been really interested in. There's theories in quantum mechanics that suggest something similar to the multiverse theory. I think I might have heard that before, Rigor Mortis. I can't remember where, but I do remember something like that was brought up at one point. So that would be very interesting with that. Very interesting indeed. Right then. Cool. What to do is, folks, just coming towards the end of the show. I know I did say that I would go on to another 8, well, just after 8 o'clock, but from after 8 o'clock, but I think there's really nothing else to really cover tonight. I think I've pretty much covered everything to go by at this moment in time, but we're living in the clown universe, obviously. Yeah, possibly, Steve, possibly. It's an interesting theory similar to string theorem. Yeah, actually, I might want to have a look into that as well. Let me just see here at the moment. Let's see. String theorem. Let's have a look and see here real quick. Oh, string theory. Right, my bad. Sorry, my bad. In physics, string theory is the theological framework in which the point-like particles of particles physics are replaced by one-dimensional objects called strings. String theory describes how these strings propagate through space and interact with each other. Ah, interesting. Interesting indeed. One is called many worlds in interpretation, string theory, and superstring theory. You're going till 9 p.m. in another universe. Yeah, exactly that, Toby. Exactly that. Yeah, interesting. Interesting indeed. Cool. Right then, folks. I think what I'll do now is I'll just call a night. Reborn as a poo-poo. Again, there's many possibilities with that Exile Viking, but they're very, very valid indeed. Right then, I think I'll call it a night there, folks. Apologies I came in late, and apologies I couldn't finish it up until after 8 o'clock, but I'm tired, I'm exhausted. I'm going to see if I can do something for dinner and all of that, and see from there, of course. And maybe even make myself a cup of tea with that, but we'll see. Right then, let's see here with that. I want to live in a version where we have a nationalist government. Yeah, valid point. Very valid point. One in the chat if you think they walked on the moon, two if they didn't. Good question, Indigenous Advocate. Right, let me see if I can find an outro song for the show. And I will be back this Sunday at 5 p.m. And of course, I'll bring a guest on, such as Joe and Bill Athling from PA Wales. Anyone else from PA Wales who would like to join the show, they're very welcome to. And then we'll see from there, of course. A Moody show like the Truman Show would be good. That would be interesting, that actually. Very interesting. Hello, Aunt Sally. Thanks very much for watching the show. Appreciate you being here. Excellent. Excellent. What was the question again? I think there's a lot more twos coming out. Interesting. Yeah. Good point. Bill Athling, real quick. Chief Moody, as a prelude to Sunday's show, it would be worthwhile your listeners reading my new article on PA News, Land Fit for Heroes. That's a really good point, Bill. Let me just see if I can quickly find that article, and I'll post it in the chat real quick. Hold on a second. I don't know if maybe someone might beat me to the punch, but let me see if I can find that real quick. Patriotic Comparative website. I'll see if I can post that article in the chat here. There's a website there. I should be able to find the website in. Let me see here. Where would I find articles? Let me see here. I'm not going to end the stream until I find this article, and I'll post it in the chat, and people can have a read that for themselves. Again, it's another article from Bill Athling. Let me see. Roadmap, that's a new thing. Our plan, news. God damn it, where the hell can I find that? PATV? No, it could be on PATV. In memoriam, that's not it whatsoever. Oh, right, I'm going to find something here. Right, I'll see if I can find Bill's article, and the name of the bill, name of the article you said, Bill, Land Fit for Heroes. Like, let me see if I could find that. Let me see. But when was it you published this article, Bill? If you don't mind me asking, because maybe that can also help me find it as well. Let me see. Try to see if I can find it here. Prince of Thieves, when equality equals genocide, banning the Bard, Ottoman defeat into victory. Let me see here. Trying to see if I could find the article. God damn it. Well, we're just past 8 o'clock, so maybe we actually might finish it just after 8, but let me see. Let me see if I can find it here. Is Bill still in the chat? I'm just see if I can still find this article right now. I should be able to find it. Let me see here. Let me see just real quick. Solera, that's not the person. Titus, that's not him either. Right, okay. Joan Edelzod, thank you for joining. Let me see. A land fit for heroes, but Aldi was a Great Depression and another World War. Right, okay. A land fit for heroes. Let me see if I can find it. I should be able to find it here somewhere. God. In fact, there might be another way. Hold on. Telegram. I'll see if I can find it here. Land fit for heroes. Excellent. I found it. Right. Let me just see if I can. A land fit for heroes, race, violence, and disillusion. The 1919 race riots in Wales by Bill Athling. Excellent. I'll post that in the chat just now. My apologies for that. It's on the PA Wales channel. I found it here. There we go. Sorry for the long delay there, folks. There we go. I thought, not to worry, Bill. Let's see. I got the article here, so if you want to check that out for yourselves, definitely do so. Of course, show your support for that as well, for Bill in this case. Chief Woody, you should have won Best Newcomer at Nationals Awards. I mean, I'm happy for those who have won those awards. I mean, it's not like meant to be like a serious award or anything like that. So it's maybe all fun when it comes to our circles with that, but no, like I'm happy for people who've won the awards during that anyway. So and thank you for that, Streaky Bacon. I appreciate that when it comes to that particular award. But you never know. Maybe I might win next year's awards, but who knows? We'll definitely see with that. We shall see. There's always the next time, I would say. Definitely next time. Anyway, troops, I'm going to end the stream tonight, or just now, finally. I'll just see if I can find an outro just now. But for I think it was the maximum amount of 25 or 26 people watched the show tonight. Quite small than usual, but I still appreciate the turnout tonight. I really do appreciate that. I know Mark is on the kill stream or with Ethan Ralph at the moment. So that might explain like the less viewership. But again, I appreciate for those who did turn up for tonight's episode. I really still appreciate that. So, and like I said earlier on, I'll just mention this one last time. If you'd like to support me financially, you can send donations through my Ko-fi page or my PayPal page, which the links for those will be in the description down below. So if you like to send the donations, then the links are in the description down below. Again, please don't feel obligated to do so. If you would like to, the option is there for you guys to do. And of course, there we are with that. So we love you, Mr. Moody. Oh, thank you, English Rose. I appreciate that. Thank you, Chief Moody. Thanks very much, Aunt Sally. I appreciate you guys being here. Let me just see if I can find an outro just now and see from there. I bet something good is cooking. Well, we'll see. So, let me see just now. Let me see what to play. We all dance around, Chief. Excellent. Actually, what song have I been listening to recently? Wait a minute. Where is it? All right, that's interesting why it's not popping up there. Maybe it's for something completely different. Okay. I've not played this in a while. Maybe I'll play this. Why not? Right then, troops. Again, I appreciate you all turning up. I shall be back this Sunday at 5 p.m. Any news or any updates or anything like that at all doesn't mean we are engaged with anything. That's completely fine, English Rose. Any news or updates when it comes to upcoming episode on Sunday, I'll let you guys know. But join me on Sunday at 5 p.m. where I'll be joined by Joe and Bill Athling. Again, any other member from PA Wales would like to join, please feel free to do so. And there's also might be a possibility I'll have other guests on the show at a later date. There's a possibility I might have Mean Peem on, but we'll see if we can arrange something with that. So for any like times and all of that. So, but anyway, again, appreciate you all being here, and I'll be back this Sunday. Please tune in when the time comes. See you all then. Thanks very much for watching. You have been watching the Mood of the Nation podcast. I will see you all on Sunday at 5 p.m. Take care, stay safe, and enjoy the rest of your evening and this coming weekend. Thank you and take care. Good night.
Reach the wizard. It's fun. Wake up. Reach the wizard. It's fun. Wake up. It's fun. Reach the wizard. It's fun. Wake up. Reach the wizard. It's fun.